new quantity and the whole quantity of that particular product. And the next one, we have perfectly elastic demand. Demand for a product is said to be perfectly or infinitely elastic. If a given price, consumers are ready to buy all they can buy at the time and none at any other price. That is, the consumers are ready to buy all they can buy at a particular price and none at any other price. That means the consumer are ready to buy more at a certain price. This is the case for the products of firm that is operating under perfect competition in the market. That is exactly what happened to them, and the graph for the perfectly elastic demand is always horizontal. That is of the same point, that the price will not change, but the consumer are ready to increase their quantity demanded at that particular price. And the last one is perfectly inelastic demand. It is also known as zero elasticity, which means that consumers remain the same. As the prices continue to change from one point to the other, as the prices continue to increase, consumers remain the same at the quantity demanded. The quantity demanded will remain the same. Consumer is indifferent, they don't change the quantity demanded. And such a situation is very common to the goods that are of necessity to the consumer, that they can't do without it. So any amount that they want, they can get it in the market. They continue to buy the same quantity of that particular product. And the curve will look like this, will always be vertical in the curve. The curve will be vertical. That means as the price begins to change from one point to the other, the quantity demanded remain the same. And that is perfectly inelastic demand. Factors affecting price elasticity of demand. 1. The availability of substitute. This is probably the most important factor influencing the elasticity of goods or services. In general, the more substitute a particular product has, the more elastic the demand for that product will be. That means, if a particular product has so many substitutes, the demand for that particular product will be elastic. In the sense that any slight changes in the price of that particular commodity, of that particular product, the consumers are ready to shift and buy another substitute that is very close and serve the same function as that particular product. That means that particular product is so sensitive to the changes in price. For example, if the price of Milo rice, consumers has the option of buying Bonfita since they serve the same purpose, and the other way around. If the demand if the price of Milo reduced, so many consumers from Bonfita that consume Bonfita earlier, before, they will shift to come and buy Milo. That means the demand for that particular. The second one, the amount of income available to spend on a particular goods. If a consumer has set a kind of certain amount to be spending on foodstuff in a month, the percentage of that amount, the number of quantity that product, that income will be able to buy of the foodstuff will continue to change as long as the price keeps changing. If the price of that particular of the product, the foodstuff is changing, then the consumer will have no other option than to change the quantity he will be able to buy. For example, if the price of a can of Coke goes from 15 naira to 100 naira, and the income set aside for the consumption of Coke remains 200 naira, that means the quantity of that particular product of Coke that the consumer will be able to consume will reduce from 4 to 2. That means when the price was 15 naira, with that 200 naira, the consumer will be able to consume 4. But when the price of that Coke increased to 100 naira, the consumer will not be able to consume more than 2 instead of 4. That means a factor also that determines how much of that product will be consumed at a particular price or the other. And when the price of that particular product changes, this quantity demanded for that particular product will definitely change. So the amount set aside for the consumption of a particular product is another factor that determines the price elasticity of demand. Another one is time. It takes time for people to adjust their expenditure or consumption of a particular product, especially some product that they've created a kind of habit on, that they have habit of consuming, that they are used to, that it's so hard for them to change. If the price of that particular product increase, it will be difficult for them to change immediately. It will take some some time before they will be able to adjust because of the resources available to them. Income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded for a product to a change in the income of the consumer. That is, what is the changes that happen to the quantity demanded by a consumer when there is an increase or decrease in income of such consumer. That is what income elasticity of demand is looking at. It is calculated as the ratio of the percentage change in quantity demanded to the percentage change in income. So the coefficient for the calculation of income elasticity of demand is EY. The other price elasticity of demand was ED, but that of demand quantity income is EY, and the formula is percentage change in demand, quantity demanded, over percentage change in income. That means the changes that happen in income, in quantity demanded, divided by the changes that happen in income. That is the income elasticity of demand. For example, if there is an increase of 10% in income, the quantity demanded also will have a certain increase of in percentage in quantity demanded. That is to show us that the changes in price and quantity demanded can be as a result of the changes in income. Definitely, a normal and rational consumer will increase the quantity demanded once the price, the income increase, once the salary increases, and vice versa. We can have a negative income elasticity of demand, and we can also have a positive income elasticity of demand. A negative income elasticity of demand is associated with inferior goods. That is, an increase in income will lead to a fall in the demand and may lead to the changes of more, may lead to the increase in more luxurious goods. That is, the consumers tend to abandon so many other inferior goods when there is an increase in consumers' income and go for other costly goods because the consumer believes there are more resources to get more and better quality goods. So that is a case of a negative income elasticity. A positive income elasticity of demand is associated with normal goods. An increase in income will lead to a rise in demand of normal goods. If income elasticity of demand for a commodity is less than 1, it is said to be a necessity goods. And if the elasticity of demand is greater than 1, that means it is a luxury good or a superior goods. That means there is a kind of positive income elasticity of demand for normal goods that we consume as consumers. Then we also have a zero income elasticity of demand. This occurs when an increase in income is not in any way influencing or affecting the demand. That is, there are some goods that whether it's high or low, whether the price is, the income increases or reduces, the demand will remain the same, such as salt. We don't say because you are earning more now, then you begin to consume more of salt. It's not ideal, it's not normal. In that case, we say we have a zero income elasticity of demand. The types of income elasticity of demand, we have basically 5 possible types. 1, we have high income elasticity of demand. In this case, increase in income is accompanied by relatively large increase in quantity demanded. That is, the increase in income will affect in a relative, it will affect quantity demanded relatively. The increase will not be that much, but there will be a slight increase in the quantity demanded. For example, if the income increased by 10% and the quantity demanded is increasing by 15%, there is a kind of increase, but it's not, the gap is not that much. In that case, we have high income elasticity of demand. The second one, we have unitary income elasticity of demand. In this case, increase in income is accompanied by same proportion of increase in quantity demanded. That is, 10% increase in quantity, in income leads to 10% increase in quantity demanded. What the consumer has been buying before will increase at the same rate with the increase in income. Then we have unitary income elasticity of demand. Then we have low income elasticity of demand. In that case, the proportion of increase in income is accompanied by a lesser increase in quantity demanded. That is, as increase in income occur with 10%, then there is a kind of decrease in quantity demanded, like 5%. That means the quantity demanded reduces as income increases. That is low income elasticity of demand. And we have zero income elasticity of demand. This shows that the quantity bought is constant regardless of the changes in income. Here, the value of the coefficient of income elasticity of demanded is always zero. That is, there's no changes in quantity demanded even as income